We'll start with a small bhajan. If you can place it on. Yeah. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Ram Jaya. There's a particular reason why we have this Nama Sankirtanam or japa of a mantra which goes in loop. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jaya Ram continues to repeat. What's the reason? Is because this particular type of chanting, you can say cyclic chanting, there's a reason why. Because mind is always wanting to go for the next thing. It's always in the what next mode. What next? What next? That's how we operate in the world. What next? So the mind asks, you start the chant, anything you start, even you put a playlist when you're going for a drive, always as the end, one song is ending, it's asking what next. And also mind seeks variety. So that this way of operation doesn't allow us to really be in the present moment. So this chant, this kind of chanting where we just go on repeating a mantra in the loop, helps us break out of this thinking. Mind asks, what next? Nothing next, same chant. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Mind asks, what next? Nothing next. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Mind again asks, what next? Nothing next. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So mind again and again tries to go for the next thing, but we keep on repeating. And finally, at one point, mind learns to settle down. Stay with the chant. Staying with the chant means staying in the present moment, staying with what is, staying with what is. So that discipline can be cultivated through the simple chant of chanting a particular mantra. So with that insight, we will approach the chant once more for a few loops. Satish ji, can I please have a little more of volume? Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Can you add smile alongside the chant? We're not in jazz music, so you can smile. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. A small note about my journey into Vedanta, spirituality. So, from my childhood, I had some inclination, natural inclination towards spirituality. Are you all able to hear me properly? So, as to go alongside my mother to ashrams, spiritual discourses, temples, Chinmaya Mission, Balvihar, all of it. I had a natural inclination. Nobody was really pushing me or making me go here and there. My mother was extremely religious and spiritual, so I kind of naturally inherited that trait, I suppose. My father used to give me a very sort of a rational perspective, not that religion is irrational, sort of always encouraging me to think independently, do what I want, be whatever I want to be. So I also inherited a perspective to just look at everything from the first person's perspective. Life went on. I was not really interested in spirituality, temples, or ashrams during my high school, etc. But during my college, again picked up this interest. Somehow it just came. An inquiry started. I had everything what a young person wanted around me, but still each day, a busy day, everything I used to approach with enthusiasm, academics, social life, friends, all of it, I had it in plenty. I was also excelling in academics, great set of friends, all of it. Yet somehow I used to come home and then be a little dissatisfied. And I started questioning, what is this? I seem to have had a great day, and yet I'm coming home and then with a sense of discontentment and feeling sort of incomplete. So when I started paying more and more attention to what I was feeling, I thought, let me explore solution for this. So which led me to again explore spirituality. I started going to ashrams, I started attending discourses, I started reading a lot of books, etc. And one fine day, I just landed up with Puja Swamiji's, Swami Dayananda Saraswati Ji's one book called Ishvara in One's Life. So I started reading it and I felt this is what I'm seeking, really. I've been going to all these ashrams and everything, yet this seems to offer solutions to what I'm feeling. I started exploring his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, Gita Home Study, which made me feel that I have to meet this person. So I was almost finishing undergrad and also had a startup in Bangalore. And then I got a thought maybe I should join ashram. And then I discussed this with my mother. She said, "You just one more year is left. Why don't you just finish your undergrad and then you do what you want?" I checked the idea with my father. He said, "It's okay, you can go join the ashram." I thought, okay, I'll take my mother's route. So I waited. Meanwhile, I was studying all of it and then attending discourses, etc. And at one stage, I felt I should meet Swami Dayananda Saraswati Ji. So I finished my graduation. And then I went and met Swami Dayananda Saraswati Ji in Coimbatore. And I felt this is it. I feel at home. I feel that I've met my guru, I've met my teacher. I should just stay here and then pursue my interest in spirituality. I ran this idea with Puja Swamiji. He was real too skeptical about me initially. He thought probably a runaway case. In India, sometimes if there's a love failure, they go join the ashram. So maybe he was doubting is such a person. Then I didn't really find some strong response from Puja Swamiji. So I thought, okay, let me just take my parents and make him meet them. So Puja Swamiji met my parents. He was very comfortable knowing that this full support and consent, this young person is coming to ashram. So he embraced me with both arms, and I started studying Vedanta in Arshavidya Gurukulam, Coimbatore. There was a course already which Puja Swamiji himself was taking. I became part of that course. And after that, Puja Swamiji and one more Acharya started conducting another Vedanta course. That's where I met Shivamji. We became very good friends back in ashram. Spent many hours in contexts like this where Puja Swamiji was teaching and we were sitting and at his feet and exploring, studying Shastra, Sanskrit, learning chanting, being in spiritual disciplines, all of it. So in fact, I used to pull Shivam once in a while, where I suddenly used to randomly get a thought, an idea that we should cook pasta and hot chocolate and a dessert for the whole ashram. Then one person cannot do. So I used to pull Shivam and one more friend, Akhil. So I used to pull them to kitchen and say, okay, stir this, add this. They were my sous chefs. I was the main chef. So if you would like to taste something, we both can give a try again. So years went on in Gurukulam. So after Puja Swamiji's Mahasamadhi, that is after Mahatma's death, I joined Arshavidya Swami Dayananda Ashram Rishikesh on the banks of Ganga. I started studying Shastras with Swami Tattvavidanandaji, Swami TV. I spent many years studying and teaching at Rishikesh Ashram. Later on, I was asked to also take care of Bangalore Center. We have Arshavidya Kendra in Bangalore. I also teach and take care of the place, and later came in here. Meanwhile, I also pursued a little bit of academic study research at Harvard. I was engaged in a fellowship where I researched on comparative religion. And I have been sharing this vision across the US and other parts of the world to take in this message of oneness, message that one is whole and acceptable as one is, which has been sort of mantra of Puja Swamiji, to take it to places and share these seeds of wisdom so that one can take it and grow it in one's heart. So that's the work I do. And also in India, a lot of social initiative to serve the society I'm involved in. So that's a small bit about this Swami. And interesting fact was already mentioned by, I forget the name sometimes, Shukan. I play a few instruments, Veena in particular. So I think there's a tabla player, the harmonium player, violinist. If you have violin, we can jam in between. If you have guitars, bring in that too. Okay. So with that, we'll begin the retreat with a few prayers. I would like some more volume, please. Yesterday's level was perfect. Hari Om, check, check, check. No, slot. Yeah. Oh, this was not coming all this while. Is it too harsh on you? Now? Okay? So we have some prayers given. If you can get hold of your handouts.
It's in the booklet.
In the booklet.
Page 2. Do we have extra booklets?
Does everyone have a booklet with you?
If you need a booklet, you can say Shuka. You can just come up and have one.
You need more copies? Okay, those who don't have, please share it with your neighbor and we will make more copies available by our next session. We'll do these prayers and then chant Omkara and begin the first session. You may repeat after me, you may know already as well. Om Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
This second one has a different tune. Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. A small meaning is given. I'll just discuss each day about one of it. Asatoma Sadgamaya is a very beautiful, profound Vedic prayer, kind of summarizes the entire spiritual journey, what we are seeking in a spiritual life. So the prayer is to Ishvara, God, lead us from unreal to the real. Often we are stuck with false or unreal things in the world. Lead us to real wisdom, real knowledge. Lead us from the darkness of ignorance towards the light of wisdom. You may add those two words there. In Sanatana Dharma, in Hinduism, the Jyoti, the light, the flame is always referred to as light of knowledge. That's the symbolic meaning. And the darkness is referred to as ignorance. Lead us from the fear of death towards immortality. Immortality is not wanting to live forever. It has to be understood. We will unfold it in the sessions. May there be peace, peace, and only peace, green peace. No. Peace is what we are seeking, the most important thing. In fact, that's what the world needs right now. So we're always praying for peace. Veda, the mantras in the Veda, usually just don't repeat. The rishis just don't repeat. But in Vedas, if a particular phrase is being repeated, it gets the technical word abhyasa. If something is being repeated, it means to say that, hey, pay attention, we are speaking something important. So they say, peace, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi, 3 times because there's so much emphasis on this. This is what we are seeking. Peace at all levels, we will discuss that. But abhyasa, there is a repetition, meaning there is an emphasis to put our mind back to what we are essentially seeking in life. What essentially everyone is seeking is peace. You may be seeking this and that at the surface level, but if you really look within and analyze yourself, what one is essentially seeking is peace. So, Om Shanti, 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 3 times it is repeated. Okay. Take a moment to center yourself through the breath. Take a comfortable posture. Don't have to be too stiff. Eyes are gently closed. Just observe the breath. And center yourself. Let us chant Omkara. Inhale. 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 Let us together chant Asatoma Satgamaya once more. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly and gently, you may open the eyes. A warm welcome to all of you to this retreat. An occasion to learn something about life, an occasion to discuss, an occasion to grow. Vedanta is but examination of life. Our object of observation is life itself, nothing else. In that sense, the rishis were keen observers. The sages of the Vedas were very keen observers of life. All the time, what they were watching was not Netflix or Instagram Reels. What they were binge watching was life. What they were constantly watching was life. That's how they could land upon greatest insights about life. A modern day person is also keenly observing things, but I suppose the focus is not so much on life. All the focus seems to be on lifestyle. So, what is the difference between life and lifestyle? I'll make a small distinction. Life is breath. Life is sun. Life constitutes of sun, breath, moon, air, sleep, food, love, peace. All of it constitutes life. What constitutes lifestyle? Car, cell phone, shoes, coat, technology, etc. If anybody would like to add to the list, you're welcome to do so. The list is endless. Just examine, let us examine our own life, because Vedanta is but vichara. Sanskrit word vichara means to inquire, to examine. Just examine yourself. If you examine yourself, you'll see, you just examine for yourself without judgment, just to locate where your focus is usually. Is your focus more on life or lifestyle? More on life or lifestyle? And after this session, reflect upon it. You'll see where you stand. All our problems in life, whatever one may be going through, all of it come out, are all surfacing because we hardly pay attention to life. We hardly pay attention to life. Nobody pays attention to sleep. Nobody pays attention to food. Our lifestyles are structured today. Modern living is structured in a way where you must pay least attention to life. And one who pays all the attention to lifestyle becomes so-called successful person in the definitions of the world. So one who pays attention to life is some woo-woo spiritual type. Whereas if you really examine life today, in adult life, as years pass, only a person who's paying attention to life is healthy physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. Only such a person who's paying attention to life has discovered peace and happiness. Otherwise, the lifestyle people are only always wanting a 3-day getaway, a 1-week getaway, 2 weeks getaway, 3-week getaway, nothing more than that. The phrase getaway itself shows the life that we are living, meaning the life that we are living is not all that great, that's why you need a getaway from it. If the life that I'm living itself was something nice, holistic, fun, career, research, business, whatever you are involved in, suppose if we had an art of converting and holistically approaching all of it, working hard and all of it, yet if you had this art, a person would not need a getaway from such a life. So that's why constantly people are wanting a getaway. Spirituality is paying attention to life. The phrase spirituality in Sanskrit is adhyatma. Adhyatma. Very beautiful word. In Hinduism, in Hindu philosophy, we have 3 streams of examination or 3 categories of knowing or knowledge. One is Adi Bhautika Vidya. Adi Bhautika means physical, Vidya means knowledge. Adi Bhautika Vidya, examination, inquiry, or knowledge concerning external world. All the things which are around us. So in modern day terminology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, or economics, whatever, all of it constitute the knowledge about the external world, Adi Bhautika. There's another examination or another stream of knowledge, Adi Daivika Vidya, knowledge concerning prayers, rituals, God, belief, etc. Adi Daivika Vidya. This culture, we believe that there are forces beyond our control. Rain, sun, all of it are all just not physical entities. There is a divine power behind it. How to pray, how to connect to that, how to constitute rituals to invoke those powers, all constitute Adi Daivika Vidya, second stream. The third, we have covered the entire world. We have covered the gods, prayers, rituals, all of it. But there is something more than this. There's one important element which is missing, that is Adhyatma Vidya. Knowledge, examination, where the object of study of knowledge is yourself, oneself. Adhyatmika Vidya or Adhyatma Vidya, spirituality. Adhyatma Vidya. Adhyatma Vidya is focusing, knowing oneself. Today, a person knows everything about the world, almost everything about the world. A person seldom knows oneself. That is not at all encouraged. Examiners, is our school system, our education system, is it built to, in order to really have an insight about yourself, to know yourself? No. You're always knowing something else. Never a discipline or an art or way to know oneself, truly have some insights about oneself is never taught, in any of the education system. The ancient Indian education system was always holistic. It had all three elements. It always had you knowing oneself, about the physical body, about the mind, about intellect, emotions, breath, all of it. In fact, a physical body is nothing so different from the world outside. I and this body and this plant are no different. People who have certain chemistry background can very easily say CHO, which is here, is in the same physical body, nothing different. So CHO, I put it in those words as sun, moon, star, breath, air, all of it. So Adhyatma is but paying attention to oneself and life as such. So that is Adhyatma Vidya. We are all here to inquire about oneself. There's enough information about the world. In fact, I was reading some article recently. Just on your cell phone news feeds today, more information, news information is available than what was available for Bill Clinton on the Oval Office in morning briefing. So that much of information is there in our cell phones. What are we doing with all that information? There's always a war going on somewhere. There's always something going on everywhere. What am I going to do with all the information when I don't know myself and I'm constantly trying to know something outside of me? It's a tragedy of modern civilization where focus is not on yourself. Focus is always in something which is outside of you. The focus is always that. In fact, trillions and billions of dollars are spent to keep you in this state. Because if you start paying attention on yourself, the billion-dollar businesses are going to be at loss. Suppose all of us learn to accept ourselves as we are, then the whole cosmetic industry will crash. Nobody is going to buy foundations and this and that. If we were to accept our face given by Mother Nature, God, as it is, nobody is going to go for Botox and surgeries. The whole industry will crash. Suppose we were in a lifestyle where we are holistically paying attention to the food we eat, the air that we consume, to our sleep, etc., and exercise, etc., one is likely to be healthy. The entire hospital and medical system sort of collapses or loses a lot of people in its economy. I met some doctor. He said, Swamiji, the corporate hospital system is built in this way: a patient cured is customer lost. So, sort of, everybody is only focused you to keep to be for you to be kept in this distracted state where you don't pay attention to yourself. You're only paying attention to the external. Adhyatma is taking this power back in your hands. The power is focus. To focus on oneself, to focus on one's life, to focus on what one is thinking, feeling, what one is thinking and feeling. These two determine our quality of life, not the external. Temperature is probably okay today. The light is perfect. There was a good breakfast. All of it fine. But yet, your quality of life right now depends on what you're thinking and feeling, not the external. Not so much the external. We need external to some extent. But when externals are fixed, the quality of life is determined by what one is thinking and feeling. The focus in Vedanta, Adhyatma, spirituality is you. Is you. That's where it starts. When the focus is on this and life, we must pay attention to certain attitudes and the principles on which we approach life and living. So the topic chosen for this retreat is Art of Acceptance, the Yoga of Objectivity. Let me come to the topic of acceptance today. Often we're disappointed, we feel an array of emotions, we're constantly in flight or fight mode, is because we are not approaching life with the attitude of acceptance. The attitude of acceptance. Let us examine this a little more deeply. Modern life today in 2025 is structured in a way where you don't really get too many occasions to put up with things. To put up with things. There's a discomfort. Suppose there is a discomfort in the temperature, immediately you can set it. You don't have to put up with it. You don't have to accept it. You just have to change some numbers. You don't have to do anything, change some numbers. You're not really feeling okay. You just have to change numbers or apps. You just have to change apps. That's it. There's hunger. You don't really have to put up with it because immediately you can order in, you can DoorDash or go walk into the nearest outlet, literally grab something and put it in. The problem of hunger is immediately solved. There is a discomfort, suppose, in the body, you can change your posture. There was some discomfort, so I thought I'll use the occasion to change. So I can immediately put myself at ease. And especially us, usually coming from stable households, stable family system, stable Hindu family systems, or suppose stable systems, you're not really putting up with anything much. Things just happen. Somebody is there to cook for you for a long time. Somebody is there to take care of a few things around you. Somebody is there to guide you. So you don't really put up with anything. Whenever there are occasions which are uncomfortable to you, we automatically, the biological system is built in such a way that you accept that situation temporarily, at least for some time. That's how the system is designed. But then the lifestyle around us is almost anti this biological model. Since we don't even have a small physical occasions to accept and put up with some things, we find it extremely difficult to accept larger situations in life. Are you with me? Suppose there is discomfort in terms of weather. This weekend is going to be quite hot. Okay. Do I really have an occasion to put up with it? No, because we are all in air conditioned environments. So should we switch it off and then be as it is? How many of you are there for that? No, not many hands are rising. We switch off the systems and open the windows and then deal with the weather as it is. Maybe we can try for one session to really experiment what we're doing. No, he's giving a firm no. So we don't really have occasions. Acceptance, when it comes to other things of life, we find it so hard is because we somehow, unfortunately, don't even have it in our psyche, in our biological system, to accept few things around us. I keep meeting people, hundreds of people. I see them. In spring, they're always complaining of allergies. In summer, they're always complaining about the heat. When it's raining, they're complaining about the rain. And in winter, they complain, of course, of cold weather. So what is left? Whole year is passed in complaining, never really accepting what is, never really accepting even small thing like weather. Small thing like weather, which is so natural thing. It's not like somebody has come and then increased the sun or something like that. It's just natural environment, a natural process. So unfortunately, we have lost this ability even to put up with weather. And then in Arsha Vidya Gurukulam, you don't really have an occasion to put up with the food. I suppose you're all being fed good food. So nothing much. And if not, in other occasions, okay, ashram is quite remote. In the geographies or the location that you come from, suppose you don't like something, you immediately have the option of going for something else. Or you don't like the dish as it comes, there's always some more seasonings, there's always some more salt, pepper, or if you are of the habit to carry achar and hot sauce in your bag like Priyanka Chopra, so you have one more element to your life. So never an occasion to accept anything, never accept anything. So now this simple attitude of acceptance becomes as if a dramatic and a drastic spiritual discipline that you have to adopt for your life. In fact, it's not drastic, dramatic. In fact, this is simple value, a simple attitude that we must all embrace in our life, which will help us approach life as it is, approaching life as it is. A spiritual exercise for all of you in order to develop this attitude of acceptance more and more. Try to approach life. I have been using this phrase life, sun, moon, stars. That's your reference. Approach life as it comes. Try to approach life as it is. The modern civilization discourages you to approach life as it is. We don't even step on the ground. There's always a shoe, socks, or some footwear preventing us from even experiencing earth as it is. At least we were experiencing air as it is. With COVID, we need a layer of mask in so many occasions, and then there are always air purifiers and HEPA filters, etc., that we are not even in touch with real air. This being so, a spiritual exercise would be to approach life as it comes. Let us look into an insight from Bhagavad Gita, what Sri Krishna has to offer to us in this area of art of acceptance. Before that, I'll just read out what is there on the handout about the art of acceptance on the first page. The art of acceptance does not mean approving of everything. It means approaching life as it is, after having done all that one can. It is the practice of softening inner resistance. When the tight grip of "it should not be this way" loosens, especially in the matters of life, we begin to see things more clearly without the fog of judgment. That's acceptance, approaching life as it is. Let us look into what Sri Krishna has to offer us. You may chant the shloka after me, I'll teach you all. Matra sparshastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhadaha Agama Payino Nityaha Tam Titikshasva Bharata. An important verse from second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday in the satsang, I told you there was a question about surrender. Arjuna, when he was in utter confusion, surrenders to his best friend, who was a wise person, who happened to be a wise person. What a great best friend that Arjuna had, that he could just surrender to his best friend for the sake of wisdom. Krishna is explaining this phenomenon, which we will discuss. I'll just read out a simple translation. O son of Kunti, Kaunteya means son of Kunti. In the ancient tradition of Bharat, there was always this culture of addressing a person through the mother's name. So we lost that, and later it got replaced to addressing somebody with father's name. That's kind of a norm here in Hindu culture, Christian culture, etc. So Arjuna is being addressed as Kaunteya, meaning son of Kunti. Krishna is saying the contact between the senses and the sense objects give rise to fleeting perceptions of happiness and distress. Or you can replace that word happiness with pleasure. You'll have further more insight. Let us just examine this part now. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. What Krishna is saying is, what we call pain and pleasure is but sensations created due to the contact of sense organs with the sense object. What we call, I repeat, what we call as pain and pleasures are but sensations created because of the contact of sense organs with a sense object. You buy an ice cream and say it is pleasurable. It's a nice pleasure to engage with. What essentially is happening there is not really happiness or pleasure. It is but a contact of sense organ with a sense object. Tongue is in touch with the ice cream. Tongue is in touch with gulab jamun. Tongue is in touch with coffee. Tongue is in touch with tiramisu. Tongue is in eggless. Tongue is in touch with pizza. And there is a sensation which the world calls and markets to you as happiness, as pleasure. Whole lot of people do not really know what is happening. They don't even know that they're being conditioned by this huge matrix. They just go for it. So the idea of happiness is just this contact of senses with sense objects. For a person to just exist today in the modern world, a person has to be the senses have to be in contact with a sense object. That's how the world is structured. That's how we're all conditioned to be. Constantly to be in touch with senses, to be in touch with something. Eyes, sense organs, always they have to be doom scrolling something. Always something has to be there all the time. Ears, that's why AirPods, make it as simple as possible. Always something, there must be a background music like a Bollywood movie. Anything you do, there should be a background music to it. Anything you do should be background music to it. I saw a meme which said, I wish I had background music to my life so that I know what is happening really. So there is always, ears are engaged with music or whatsoever. Tongue, what to say, Indian tongue, all the time has to be in touch with something. So how it goes. Any Indian person you see, they start with chai. Okay, tongue has to be in touch with chai. Chai is sweet. Then they realize, okay, it's sweet. Now I need namkeen. They add a namkeen to it, next to it. Then they say it's salty. I should add a sweet, so there's some biscuit or a cookie with it. So you put that. Then they realize, oh, it's all sweet. I should water it down and then drink water and land back to the same place I started with. This journey goes on and on and on, on and on and on. What the world is marketing to you as pleasure is but just a sensation, a fleeting sensation. Krishna is very specific in saying that a fleeting sensation which is created due to the contact of senses with sense objects. And he says to Arjuna, hey Arjuna, may you note this, may you note that all of these sensations are never permanent, they're always fleeting. What you call happiness or pleasure is going to be there as long as your tongue is in touch with the ice cream. As long as the eyes are in watching whatever you wish to watch. It's only that much. Agama apainaha. Please note, Arjuna, that all these are fleeting sensations. They come only to go. They come only to go. Anityaha. Please understand, Arjuna, it is temporary. All these sensations are temporary. All of this being non-permanent, hey Arjuna, learn to accept them as it comes. There's a Sanskrit word for acceptance. Acceptance is called titiksha in Sanskrit. So art of acceptance is art of titiksha. Art of titiksha. Titiksha is to accept things. In fact, a right translation of titiksha would be glad acceptance of things. Glad acceptance of things. So a first step towards acceptance is to understand that all the sensations which we are categorizing them as pleasure, pain, are temporary. Are temporary. They come only to go. They come only to go. In fact, explore this with one more layer. We will do it in next session. You look at it with what is that economic theory of law of diminishing marginal utility, what you call as pleasure, contact of tongue with the ice cream, that is not going to be there as it is. First lick, yes, fine. Second lick, fine. Third lick, fine. Fourth time your tongue is in touch with the ice cream, it's okay. Something is neutralized. You finish the whole ice cream, go for the second one, fine, still okay. Third one, not really feeling anything, just to fill the inner void, you are eating that ice cream. Nothing really is happening. Fifth one, sixth one, you want to puke. What started as pleasure has now turned as pain. What has turned as pain? It only shows that how fleeting, how not really foundational are these categories of pain and pleasure that we put in our psyche, what the world has put in our psyche, that this is pleasure, this is pain, they don't really stand ground up scrutiny upon this inquiry. So I end this session by showing you all that external things that we are experiencing are but sensations. If you are interested in developing this attitude called acceptance, the first step towards it is to note that whatever I am resisting is just but a sensation, which is temporal, and I need to just accept and be with it. I accept and be with it. So think and explore in these terms. And if you have any questions, the floor is now open for a few minutes, or we can discuss it later as well. Om Tat Sat. It need not be questions. If you have something to share, your learning or insight, you're welcome to do so as well. Yeah.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
My name is Shivadeep, and I'm also a bhajan singer. So I hope
Wow.
during this retreat, maybe we'll get a chance to jam.
Yes.
And I guess not my question, or based on what you explained, one thing that I could think of is it's kind of like coffee, right?
Mhm.
Like some people say, oh, we need 1 cup of coffee every day to survive.
Mhm.
But it's just the way your mind is conditioning you that without that coffee you can't be awake. There's other ways for us to wake up, going for a run, maybe taking a shower, maybe just meditating. But like if like the way the marketing is, oh, cup of coffee, that's how you get up
Yeah.
every morning, or Red Bull, this is what you need to get energy.
Yeah.
So it's a lot about marketing, and that stuck to me. So what do you think we can do in terms of like trying to not let that influence us as much? Because obviously, like, technology, TV, it's everywhere, it's flashing. So that's consciously, what can we do to like not be so influenced by these ads?
Very nice. Thank you. A pause. What you can do is take a pause. We'll live life as if there are no speed breakers, as if we should not change our speed limit, as if we constantly have to be at 65, constantly have to be going in a pace. So, what can help us come out of this illusion is to pause, reflect, and inquire. Inquire into things that helps us take a step back out of all this bombardment of advertising and one narrative about life which is constantly being floated. Yeah, that's what one can do.
Thank you.
This is a pause. All of you have taken a pause uh, from the lives that you've been living, to take a moment. You already have taken the first step towards it. A pause from the world.
Hi, Swamiji. Thank
Hello.
you so much for your discourse. So in the beginning of the lecture, you talked about the difference between life, which is like breath, sun, food, sleep, the things that we need to do to
Mhm.
exist in this world, and lifestyle, which is our phones and TV and Netflix and our jobs. Can you comment on the gray area, maybe the Venn diagram where life and lifestyle overlap? Because I think living in this modern world today, we kind of, there are things in our lifestyle that we need in this, 2025 to have a fulfilling life. Sometimes our careers are very, very fast paced, but they're what give our lives meaning. So, can you comment on kind of navigating between the gray area of life and lifestyle?
Yeah. See, if you examine human history, a human being has always used tools in order to enhance one's life. You go to an archaeological site, you'll find the tools that being used by a prehistoric human being. Then you look something, there were a set of things, tools and certain things that in Bronze Age humanity was using. Similarly, fast forward to 2025, so we all use certain gadgets, just like prehistoric times, Stone Age, etc. They were using stone tools, and that is all replaced by cell phones, gadget, all of it, etc. The gray, I wouldn't say it's a gray area. All these tools, why did they come into existence? All of it came into existence to help you focus on life, isn't it so? A dishwasher came into existence, they invented it so that a half an hour or 1 hour that we spend in order to do those dishes, to wash those dishes, that can be utilized for 1 hour of sleep or exercise or something else holistic. That's why that particular gadget came. A car came so that you don't have to waste 3 hours walking from a place A to place B. It can take you in half an hour or so that you save up that time towards sleep, eating, all of the things that I categorized as life. But let us examine. We have all these gadgets. Where is the time? Where's the time? So I wouldn't say gray area. I would encourage you to look at it in this way. Yes, one has to have a career. One has to do a few things in life. But ultimately, we are doing all of this. All of it are a means for sun, moon, stars, sleep, breath, food. Isn't it so? So take back focus on it. We are not saying that you have to reduce it, or that's a normal paradigm. Don't use cell phone. That doesn't work. Uh, that's not what I'm approaching with. I'm saying focus. Take out your focus from lifestyle and put it on life. Life gets adjusted accordingly. You will find your equation. There's no one size fits all. So when you change the focus, then what seems as gray area, etc., all of it, fine, it'll all be there. Yet your focus shifts to this. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. She thought mic is being passed to her and she was a bit shaken. No, not you don't. Your question is not for you. Question is for her.
What's this one?
Yeah.
This isn't maybe a question.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a question in here, so I'll just say what's on it. So I'm sitting with what you were sharing about pleasure and pain, and I'm thinking I'm resting with the part that is aware of how the mind works.
Mhm.
One of the things that comes up for me is that it's not just an external conditioning, that we
Mhm.
evolved in an important way to
Mhm.
experience pain and pleasure too. And for me, that captures part of the beauty of the Advaitin teachings too, is that we're kind of in there's the ultimate marketing of evolution that we're kind of in. I don't want to say in that we're sometimes in battle with. And so I think for me, resting as Atman or as non-dual awareness has the strength of equanimity with not just the external condition, but the deep internal condition.
True.
That's
Yeah.
been
That's
good.
the next level. That's already we have come one step towards it by looking at all of it as sensations. Watch and observe as sensations. So that implies that if I'm watching them, I'm the observer. We have not explored that deeply into because of this session, the context of this session is that would be the next step. You're looking at it right. Yeah.
Namaste, Swami.
Namaste.
I have one question. So, while we do mantra chanting, how do we add emotions to that? So, I know it is very powerful if we add emotions to mantra chanting. So, are there any ways that we can initially start and eventually grow?
Yeah, I mean, what you're referring to as emotions, I think I would understand this way. You can see that if I'm with you, that means with involvement, that I am there. It's not a mechanical chanting, go on chanting Shri Ram Jai Ram, or Om Namah Shivaya. There's an added bhava, what we call bhava, and then a layer of emotion or feeling to it. And what do we mean by that emotion or feeling is that you being involved. So it's no more just a religious discipline. When you recognize that something is valuable to you, then whole of your being is invested in it, isn't it so? I'll give you all an example. It happens a lot in Indian households. In India, I don't know if it's the same here, because everybody is with their own gadgets. Sometimes in India, we still have the family television where 2, 3 people still watch it. So the kid is watching the television in the living room, and the mother calls him to come for breakfast. Father is calling him to come for breakfast, and the kid is so invested and involved with the show which is going on or a cartoon which is going on, he doesn't even recognize and respond to his mother or father. Meaning what? That there is full power of concentration, the full being is involved and invested and connected with the show which is appearing on the TV. So you approach, in fact, why just the chanting of mantra? You approach everything with fullness of your attention, fullness of your being. So especially the chanting of mantra, this spiritual discipline, where you are totally invested in such a way. Why? Because you discover the benefits of it, what it does to your day-to-day life, what it does to your spiritual life. When you pay more and more attention to it, naturally your connectedness, your investment, your bhava starts increasing in this spiritual discipline. So it's no more a mechanical chant. It is something that you are naturally inclined and involved. So you can evolve this sadhana to this level by being more mindful and approaching it with this way, with the fullness of your being. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, please. Please tell your name also, so that I'm a little bit weak in holding the names, so that this is an occasion for me to get your names as well.
Hi, my name is Avi. I do have a question for you. Earlier you stated that things like, why is everyone looking at me? Earlier you said things like stuff like eating ice cream or watching a movie will give you like these temporary pleasures which will only lead to pain. But let's say those things are actually enjoyable experiences that you will reflect on later, like having ice cream with friends or watching a movie with the family. Is it a bad thing if tangible pleasures give you more permanent happiness, or are used as a means to give you more permanent happiness?
Yeah. I would like to remind you of the discussion. I never brought in the category of good and bad. I never said these temporary pleasures like ice cream are bad for you. We're only examining. We're examining a situation, our approach to life, how we are approaching a thing like ice cream and a thing like pleasure, which usually world markets it as ice cream or the pleasure coming out of ice cream. I'm not putting into the category of don'ts or do's or don'ts or good or bad. We're examining this to enable acceptance. Are you with me here till in this discussion? I mean, what I just now rephrased and said.
Yes, yes.
Now, why should we have a category of good and bad? No need. Do you think should we explore this with an additional categories of good and bad? I mean, I want you to think and explore right now, if you want, or later on. Okay, later on. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, my name is Natasha.
Hari Om.
Hariom. I was just thinking about what you were saying about acceptance, and I wanted to ask, how would you advise to like walk the line between acceptance and compliance?
Mhm.
Like, how do you make sure that this pain or pleasure I'm feeling is only temporary and I should accept it, or this pain or pleasure I'm feeling is something like the wordage in your booklet says it should not be this way. Like, how do you walk that line? How do you know what should and actually shouldn't be
Okay.
worth worrying about?
A very nice question. Yeah. Compliance, as I said, I'm not giving you all one size fits all sort of an approach. This is how it should be. No. Now, why we're examining this and the value in this examining everything as a temporal sensations, look at it from your standpoint. Look at it from your personal standpoint. Is there any value in just approaching all of it with a sense of non-acceptance, with strict categories of pain and pleasure? And so what? Maybe this is how life has to be approached, and this is how it is. And why do I need to accept anything? Let me approach life with a sense of non-acceptance, and I continue to do so. How does it feel? How does it feel for you? Then a question called compliance doesn't come. It should be this way is for you. So you are approaching everything with the lens that this is how it has to be. This is how the temperature of this room should be. I won't accept 2 degrees lesser than how it should be. I shall approach it only with my prefixation that this is how it should be, and then examine for yourself how does it feel. I suppose if I were to approach this room that this is how the temperature should be, and if 2 degrees plus or minus I don't accept, fine. I try to change the numbers, still it doesn't happen, and I stay with a state of non-acceptance. And what does that state do to you, do to me? I suppose if I approach this room with that this is how it has to be, throughout that time that I'm in this room, I'm going to be uncomfortable, I'm going to be frustrated, I'm going to be fighting it. So the paradigm of this is how it should be is not what world is expecting you to be or the parents or what I am saying. It's the judgment is yours. This is how it should be. Then you may explore little more deeper. Where is this is how it should be coming from? Is it my personal opinion or marketed opinion? You may do one more layer of inquiry. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. We'll end this session here, and you're going to have yoga and furthermore. And we'll have more occasions to discuss this. We'll end with one more bhajan. Shall we stick to the Sri Ram loop? Okay? All right. Just so that the loop sticks to you. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Take a moment to close your eyes. Just as we use a phone camera to capture a moment, recognize and capture how you're thinking and feeling at this moment. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly and gently, you may open the eyes. Om Tat Sat.